Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Kapil Gupta Career Pod Show, the show where we decode career hacks that nobody tells you about in classrooms or coaching centers. And I'm your host, Kapil Gupta. And today we are diving into something absolutely fascinating, something so simple that we've been doing it since childhood, yet so powerful that it might be secretly sabotaging your career dreams right now. So, we are talking about handwriting. Yes, you heard that right. Your handwriting. That thing you use to fill OMR sheets during exams, write cover letters, sign important documents, and scribble notes during boring lectures. But here is the twist. What if I told you that handwriting is not just about putting pen to paper? What if your handwriting is actually a mirror of your mind? And more importantly, what if changing your handwriting could actually rewire your brain to boost confidence, reduce anxiety, and unlock success? Sounds like some Harry Potter magic, right? Well, it's not magic, it is science, and it is called graphology. And today, we are going to break down everything you need to know about how this fascinating technique can become your secret weapon in the competitive world of Indian careers. According to a study published in the Journal of Research in Personality, handwriting analysis has been used by over 60% of European companies during their recruitment process at some point. While the trend is slowly catching up in India, many psychologists and career counselors are already using handwriting as a tool to understand personality traits. But here is the real game changer. If handwriting can reveal who you are, then changing your handwriting can actually help you become who you want to be. So, whether you are a class 12 student stressing about board exams, a college graduate preparing for campus placements, or someone stuck in a career rut wondering why opportunities are not knocking on your door, this episode is for you. We are going to explore the science, bust the myths, share real life stories, and give you practical exercises that you can start today. And by the end of this episode, you look at your handwriting in a completely new light. So grab your notebook and pen because this might just be the beginning of your transformation. So let us dive in. Hello, all. I'm Kapil Gupta, career coach, life mentor, and founder of Study Abroad Academy. I'm on a mission to help 100,000 high school students break free from confusion, fear, and self doubt and step into global classrooms, powerful careers, and a life they love. And this isn't just about studying abroad, it's about building clarity, confidence, and character. And I do it with coaching, mindset work, and the game changing power of graphotherapy because students deserve more than just guidance, they deserve transformation. So let us start with the basics. Why does handwriting even matter? In this age of keyboards and touchscreens, is handwriting not just an outdated skill that our grandparents obsess over? Well, not quite. Handwriting is actually one of the most complex cognitive activities that your brain performs. When you write by hand, you're not just moving your fingers, you're activating multiple regions of your brain simultaneously. Your motor cortex controls the movement, your visual cortex processes what you're writing, and your frontal lobe handles planning and decision making. It's like a full brain workout packed into a single sentence. And now, here is where it gets interesting. Because handwriting involves so much brain activity, it naturally reflects what's going on inside your mind. Think about it. When you're nervous before an exam, your handwriting becomes shaky and rushed. When you're confident and relaxed, your letters flow smoothly with clear spacing, and your handwriting is basically your brain leaving breadcrumbs about your emotional and mental state. Graphology, which is the study of handwriting, has been around for centuries. While some people dismiss it as pseudoscience, research shows that there are genuine correlations between handwriting patterns and personality traits. For example, people who write with large letters tend to be more outgoing and attention seeking, while those with small handwriting are often more focused and detail oriented. A forward slant in handwriting suggests emotional expressiveness, while a backward slant might indicate someone who is more reserved or guarded. In India, handwriting analysis is slowly gaining recognition. Some companies, especially in the banking and government sectors, have started using graphology as part of their hiring process. Why? Because handwriting can reveal traits that a resume cannot. It shows consistency, attention to detail, stress levels, and even honesty. A candidate might list excellent communication skills on their CV, but cramped, illegible handwriting tells a different story. But let us bust a major myth right here. Your handwriting is not your destiny. Just because you have small, cramped letters does not mean you're doomed to be underconfident forever. Just because your handwriting slants backward does not mean you cannot become more emotionally expressive. And this is where graphotherapy enters the picture. If your handwriting reflects your mental patterns, then consciously changing your writing can actually help rewire those patterns. It is like hacking your own brain to the tip of your pen. Psychologists call this neuroplasticity. Your brain is not fixed, it can change and adapt on your actions and habits. So, when you repeatedly practice writing in a certain way, you're creating new neural pathways. You're teaching your brain new patterns of thinking and behaving. And over time, these changes in handwriting can translate into real changes in confidence, focus, and emotional control. So the science is clear. Handwriting is not just a physical act, it's a window into your mind and a tool to reshape it. And that is exactly what makes graphotherapy such a powerful technique for career growth and personal development. So, all right, so now that we know handwriting reflects personality, let's talk about graphotherapy. What exactly is it? Simply put, graphotherapy is the practice of consciously modifying your handwriting to bring about positive changes in your personality and behavior. It's like therapy, but instead of lying on a couch talking about your childhood, you're sitting at a desk practicing specific strokes and letters. The concept is beautifully simple. If handwriting reveals thought patterns, then changing your handwriting can change those thought patterns. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone whose handwriting has very cramped spacing between words. In graphology, this often indicates stress, anxiety, or feeling overwhelmed. Now, if this person starts practicing writing with wider, more relaxed spacing, they are physically training their brain to give ideas more room to breathe. Over weeks and months of practice, this can actually reduce feelings of being overwhelmed and create a calmer mental state. Or take the example of someone whose letters are inconsistently sized. Some letters are huge, others are tiny, and nothing looks balanced. So, this inconsistency often reflects indecisiveness or lack of emotional stability. So, by practicing uniform letter sizes, this person is teaching their brain to create more consistency and balance in thinking. It sounds almost too simple to be true, but thousands of people around the world have experienced real transformations through graphotherapy. And if you want to be the one to have this experience, feel free to connect with me because I am a master practitioner of graphology and I might be the right person for you to give you that experience. So let me share a real story. There was a student named Priya from Bengaluru who reached out to me last year. Now she was preparing for UPSC exams and had cleared the prelims, but she kept failing the mains. Her knowledge was solid, but her presentation was poor. Her handwriting was cramped, shaky, and difficult to read. Examiners were probably struggling to go through her answers, which meant even good content was getting lower marks. She started working with a graphotherapy expert who gave her specific exercises. She practiced writing answers with deliberate spacing, consistent slant, and clear formations. And within 6 months, not only did her handwriting improve dramatically, but she also noticed something else. She felt more confident, more organized in her thoughts, and less anxious during exams. She cleared the mains in her next attempt. Was it just the handwriting? Maybe not entirely, but it was definitely a significant factor that triggered other positive changes. The beauty of graphotherapy is that it works on multiple levels. On the surface, you are improving legibility and presentation, which directly impacts how others perceive you. But on a deeper level, you are rewiring neural pathways, building discipline, and creating positive mental habits. It's like killing two birds with one pen. Some common graphotherapy techniques include adjusting the slant of your writing to become more emotionally balanced, increasing letter size to boost confidence, improving spacing to reduce stress, making loops more rounded to enhance creativity, and ensuring consistent pressure to develop emotional stability. Each stroke, each curve, each space is a tiny instruction to your brain about how you want to think and feel. And the best part, you do not need expensive equipment or fancy certifications. All you need is a pen, a notebook, and 15 minutes in a day. That's it. No apps, no subscriptions, no complicated techniques. Just good old fashioned practice with awareness and intention. So now, let us bring this home and talk about why handwriting matters specifically for Indian students and young professionals. In India, despite all the digital transformation happening around us, handwriting still plays a massive role in education and career progression. So let me paint a picture for you. If you're a student, think about board exams, whether it is CBSE, ICSE, or state boards. You're writing answers by hand for hours. Your handwriting directly impacts how examiners perceive your answers. A study conducted by the CBSE found that students with neat, legible handwriting scored on average 5 to 7% higher than students with poor handwriting, even when the content quality was similar. And that is the difference between an 85 and a 90, between first division and a distinction. And then come competitive exams. Whether you are aiming for UPSC, banking exams, SSC, or even entrance tests like CLAT or IAS mains, presentation matters. Examiners have hundreds of answer sheets to evaluate. If your handwriting is messy, cramped, or illegible, they are not going to spend extra time decoding it. They'll simply move on, and your brilliant points get lost in bad presentation. Even in the corporate world, handwriting matters more than you think. Yes, most communication happens digitally now, but there are still crucial moments where handwriting counts. Job application forms, especially in government sectors, are often handwritten. Signing important documents, taking notes during meetings, writing thank you cards after interviews, these small touches create impressions. A confident, clear signature shows professionalism. Neat handwriting on a birthday card for your boss shows thoughtfulness. These details might seem minor, but they add up to shape how people perceive you. Okay, let me share another story with you. Rahul was a mechanical engineering graduate from a tier 2 college in Pune. He had decent marks, good technical knowledge, but he kept getting rejected in the final rounds of campus placements. His friends with similar profiles were getting placed, but not him. Then one day, a senior pointed out something he had never noticed. During group discussions and interviews, candidates were often asked to fill forms or write short essays. Rahul's handwriting was barely readable. It looked rushed, careless, and immature. The HR managers were probably thinking, if this guy cannot even write clearly, how will he handle technical documentation or client communication? Rahul spent 3 months working on his handwriting using graphotherapy techniques. He focused on making his letters uniform, improving spacing, and ensuring consistent slant. The next placement season, he got multiple offers. Was it only the handwriting? No, but it was definitely the missing piece of puzzle that brought everything together. In Indian culture, there's also deep respect for well written communication. Our grandparents and parents often judge people by their handwriting. They see it as a reflection of discipline, education, and character. Now, whether you agree with this or not, the reality is that first impressions matter, and handwriting is often part of that first impression. So, why not use it to your advantage? The good news is that improving handwriting through graphotherapy is not about becoming a calligraphy artist. It's about making your writing clear, consistent, and confident. That is all. You do not need fancy loops or artistic flourishes. You just need legibility and personality, and both of these can be developed with focused practice. All right, enough theory. Let us get practical now. You're probably wondering, how do I actually start with graphotherapy? What should I practice? How long will it take? So let me walk you through some simple yet powerful exercises that you can start today. Remember, consistency is more important than perfection. Even 10 minutes of daily practice will bring noticeable changes within a month. But I've already told you that if you want guided practice, if you want proper hand holding, feel free to connect. I can definitely help you with that. Anyway, but let's continue with our podcast. Exercise 1 is called the confidence booster. This exercise focuses on increasing the size of your letters, especially your signature. If you tend to write very small, it often indicates low self esteem or lack of confidence. Start by practicing writing your name and a few positive affirmations like I'm capable, I'm confident, or I deserve success. Write these sentences with letters that are deliberately larger than your normal handwriting. Do not make them gigantic, just comfortably bigger. Practice this for 10 minutes every morning. The physical act of writing bigger trains your brain to think bigger and claim more space in the world. And within 2 to 3 weeks, you'll notice not just bigger handwriting, but also a subtle shift in how you carry yourself. Exercise 2 is the stress relief spacer. This one is for those who feel constantly overwhelmed or anxious. The key here is to practice writing with generous spacing between words and lines. Take any paragraph from a book or newspaper and copy it by hand, but leave much more space between words than you normally would. Also, leave at least half an inch gap between lines. This might feel wasteful at first, but that is exactly the point. You're teaching your brain that there's enough space, enough time, enough room for everything. Practice this for 15 minutes every evening before bed. Students preparing for exams find this particularly helpful because it reduces the mental clutter and creates a sense of calm. And now coming to exercise 3, it's called the consistency creator. This exercise targets indecisiveness and emotional instability. Focus on making all your letters uniform in size and slant. Choose one paragraph and write it slowly, paying close attention to keeping every letter the same angle and roughly the same height. Use ruled paper to help you maintain consistency. Do not rush. Quality over speed. Practice this 3 times a week for 20 minutes. Over time, this trains your brain to create patterns of consistency and reliability in thinking and behavior. And it's especially useful for people who struggle with procrastination or making decisions. And then exercise 4 is the positivity loop. Now, this one is about enhancing creativity and positive thinking. In graphology, rounded loops and open letters indicate openness and optimism. Practice writing letters like lower L, H, B, and D with full rounded loops. Also, practice writing the letter O as a perfect circle rather than a cramped hole. Write positive words like joy, hope, dream, and success, focusing on making these loops round and complete. Do this for 10 minutes daily. It might sound silly, but the repeated act of creating open, rounded shapes actually encourages your brain to adopt more open and positive thinking patterns. And exercise 5 is the pressure master. This one is about emotional control. Take a ballpoint pen and practice writing a paragraph with very light pressure. Then rewrite the same paragraph with firm, even pressure. The goal is to develop awareness and control over how hard you press on the paper. Inconsistent pressure often indicates mood swings and emotional instability. By practicing controlled pressure, you're training your brain to maintain emotional balance, and this is particularly helpful for students who get extremely nervous during exams or interviews. So, how do you track progress? Simple. Take a photo of your handwriting today before you start these exercises. Write the same paragraph once a week and date it. And after a month, compare your handwriting samples. You'll be amazed at the transformation. But more importantly, pay attention to how you feel. Do you feel more confident, less anxious, more focused? These internal shifts are the real magic of graphotherapy. And remember, there's no one size fits all approach. Some people see changes in 2 weeks, others might take 2 months. The key is consistent practice without judgment. Treat it like going to the gym for your brain. You would not expect six-pack abs after one workout, right? Same logic applies here. Be patient, be consistent, and trust the process. And now, let us zoom out and talk about the bigger picture. Graphotherapy is powerful, but it is not a magic pill that will solve all your career problems overnight. Think of it as one important tool in your success toolkit. The real transformation happens when you combine improved handwriting with other personal development practices. And here's the truth: most career struggles are not about lack of talent or intelligence. They are about mindset. They are about self sabotaging beliefs, lack of discipline, poor communication skills, and inability to handle stress. Graphotherapy addresses many of these issues indirectly, but you need to be intentional about the connection. So, when you practice graphotherapy, you're building self discipline. You're committing to 15 minutes of focused practice every day, and that discipline spills over into other areas of life. You start showing up consistently for exam preparation, for skill building, for networking. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment, and graphotherapy is a daily practice of building that bridge. Because graphotherapy also builds self awareness. When you pay attention to your handwriting, you start noticing patterns. You realize that your handwriting becomes shaky when you're stressed, or that you write smaller when you're feeling insecure. This awareness is powerful because you cannot change what you're not aware of. Once you notice these patterns, you can consciously work on them, not just in handwriting, but in life. And another big benefit is improved communication. Clear, legible handwriting translates into clear communication overall. When you practice expressing yourself neatly on paper, you also get better at expressing yourself verbally. You become more articulate, more confident in presentations, better at articulating your thoughts in interviews. Everything is connected. But here is what you must remember: graphotherapy works best when you combine it with action. Improving your handwriting will boost your confidence, but you also need to step out and take opportunities. It will help you manage stress better, but you still need to prepare thoroughly for exams. It will enhance your personality, but you also need to develop skills, build networks, and work hard. Think of graphotherapy as the foundation of a building. A strong foundation make everything else easier, but you still need to construct the walls, the roof, and the interiors. You still need to put in the work. The good news is that once your foundation is strong, everything else becomes easier and more enjoyable. So I can say use graphotherapy as a gateway. Let it be the starting point of your personal transformation journey. As you notice improvements in your handwriting and mindset, channel that momentum into other areas. Start reading more books, join skill development courses, work on public speaking, build a professional network, take care of your physical and mental health. All these pieces fit together to create a successful, fulfilling career. And here's a bonus tip: share your graphotherapy journey with others. Start a handwriting challenge with your friends. Post progress photos on social media. Teach your younger siblings or cousins about it. When you share your journey, you stay accountable, inspire others, and deepen your own learning. Plus, it's a great conversation starter in interviews and networking events. Imagine telling a recruiter, I recently improved my confidence through graphotherapy, and here is how it changed my approach to challenges. That shows self awareness, commitment to growth, and creative problem solving. All attractive qualities in a candidate. So here we are at the end of this episode, but hopefully at the beginning of your transformation journey. We've explored the fascinating science behind how handwriting reflects personality. We've understood what graphotherapy is and how consciously changing your handwriting can rewire your brain for success. We have discussed why handwriting still matters so much in the Indian context, from board exams to corporate impressions. We have shared practice exercises that you can start today with just a pen and notebook. And we have talked about building a holistic success mindset where graphotherapy is one powerful tool among many. But the question is, what will you do with this information? Will you dismiss it as interesting but not for you, or will you take action? The beauty of graphotherapy is that it requires such a small investment of time and resources, yet the potential returns are enormous. 15 minutes a day, and that is less than one episode of your favorite web series. Less than the time you spend scrolling Instagram reels. But those 15 minutes could be the difference between an average career and an extraordinary one. Remember Priya, who cleared the UPSC mains? Remember Rahul, who finally got placed after working on his handwriting? They were regular students just like you. They did not have any special advantages. They just decided to take control of one small aspect of their lives, and that decision created a ripple effect that changed everything. Your handwriting has been with you since childhood. It has silently been shaping how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. But today, right now, you have the power to take charge. You can decide that your handwriting will no longer hold you back. Instead, it will become a tool that propels you forward, a daily reminder of your commitment to growth, a visible proof that you can change, improve, and become better with conscious effort. So here's my challenge to you. After this episode ends, grab a notebook, write one paragraph about your career dreams. Write about where you want to be in 5 years. Do not worry about how messy or beautiful your handwriting is right now. Just write. Take a photo of that page and date it. That is your starting point. Then commit to practicing just one graphotherapy exercise for the next 30 days. Pick whichever resonates with you. After 30 days, write the same paragraph again and compare. I guarantee you will see a difference not just in handwriting, but in how you feel about yourself and your future. So this is the Kapil Gupta Career Pod Show, and I'm so grateful that you spent this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with friends who are struggling with confidence, stress, or career confusion. Sometimes the solutions we need are simpler than we think. Sometimes all it takes is a pen, a notebook, and the willingness to change. So until next time, keep writing, keep growing, and keep chasing these dreams. Your future self will thank you for the small actions you take today. And this is Kapil Gupta signing off. See you in the next episode.